Good morning, Washington. How you doing, everybody? It's Dave TV for the Leap Day. Leap Day, the 29th of February, 2012. The weirdest thing goes through my head. I think about Leap Day last time it came around in 2008. You know, we have this February 29th Leap Day every 4 years. Leap Day 4 years ago. I just remember that day. It was a weird day. I got up really early that day. This was February 29th, 2008. I went down to get my newspaper. I woke up at like 4:30 in the morning. I heard the paper hit the front door, so I went down to get the paper. I opened up the door, got the paper, shut the door, turned the deadbolt. The deadbolt latch came off in my hand with the deadbolt engaged. Literally, I was locked in. I couldn't get the door open. I couldn't unengage the deadbolt. The damn knob had popped off. I was locked in my condo. I couldn't get out. Now, yeah, I mean, I only have the doors downstairs. The rest of the units upstairs, I guess I could have jumped out a window, but I would have to jump down a floor, a whole floor to get down. But it was the weirdest feeling. Like, it's 4:30 in the morning on Leap Day, and I'm locked in my condo. So I had to call a locksmith to come out, who easily from the outside managed to get the door open. But the other funny thing about that day, Leap Day of 2008, was that was the big WMAL massacre. Was that the day they fired Chris Core? Used to do late mornings at the station, and they also, I think that was the day they flipped the format of remember 1059 used to be smooth jazz, WJZW. They flipped the format to that true oldies channel, Scott Shannon, and basically they hadn't told anybody at the station, and I broke the news, and people at the station were emailing me going, "Oh my God, we're getting fired today?" They heard it from me first. It was kind of embarrassing for the good old folks over there at Citadel, now Cumulus, but I don't know, I always remember that. Anyhow, on this Leap Day, I'm looking through this. I haven't read the book yet. I got it in the mail yesterday. JP Flaim, one of the junkies, Chasing Rocky, about his it was highly publicized back in 2006, where he literally went into the ring and fought a match. What do they call it? A match, whatever. I don't know. I've been reading bits and pieces of the book. I haven't. I will give you my book report when I'm done, but I'm really touched by it. I think it's extremely well written. I mean, I guess he had a ghost. Did he have a ghostwriter? If he wrote this himself, he's a really good writer. And I'm looking through it, and it's quite touching. He talks about deaths in his family and putting it all in perspective, and basically it's much more than just a fight book. It gets into a whole lot of personal issues, and I really, it's really quite a nice book. It's like, quote, "One thing I learned along the way is that part of boxing that has nothing to do with what happens in the ring. Part of boxing is whether you can draw fans. Everybody I knew I could do that. So they all would have loved to see me jump back in the ring. I don't blame them. They were all hustling to make a buck. Now, I'd be lying if I told them I wasn't tempted, if I said I wasn't tempted. I know what I am. I'm a father, I'm a son, I'm a suburban soccer dad, and even though I could make some money by fighting again, and even though I would love vindication, do I really want to go through that grind again? Do I really want to deal with that hurt? Do I really want to make the sacrifices? In the end, I'm not a gladiator. I'm just a pussy DJ." That's the end of the book. I'm jumping to the very end of the book. He trains, he fights, he loses, but it was a lot of publicity, and he learned a lot from it. And some great pictures in here. I remember that back when 106.7 was free FM. Remember that back in 2006? I like it a lot. I really do. Again, when I finish fully reading it, I'll give you a book report. I'll sign my name to it. But JP Flaim there, Chasing Rocky. It's out. You can get it. Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, iBooks, Nook, Kindle, Kobo. I guess that's the old Borders thing, right? AuthorHouse.com. I highly recommend it. Really nice read. You know, a lot of these books, you know, by media stars or whatever, you read through them and you about 5 seconds into it, you go, oh my God, there's a typo. There's another typo. I'm reading it, and it's surprisingly well written. Really well written book. I haven't found any typos yet in it, so there you go. Chasing Rocky, one of the junkies, JP Flaim. All right, folks. What's our other topics today? Speaking of WJFK, let's jump over to their fellow CBS station, WNEW. The ratings came out again. They're just the weekly ratings for the first week of February. They came out yesterday, and WNEW, the new all-newser. Hi, Jack Benny here. The new all-newser that CBS started on January 22nd is 38th place. You know, it started out at 31st, then it went to 37th, then third week it's 38th. Now, a lot of people are going to say, okay, you know, it's only the third week of the station. I don't know. That's not a good trend. A trend downward. Should they be worried? Sure. WNEW's got to do a couple things. One of the things they got to do is better signal. I know, yeah, you can get 99.1 over here across the Potomac, but you know, I still say Fairfax County is the center of the Washington media market because of population. And you know, you got to have a great signal into this county if you want to win the PPMs in the Washington market. And 99.1 just doesn't cut it. You know, it just doesn't cut it. They need a better signal. Okay, what are they going to do? They could you know, somehow juggle things around and put the all news on 106.7 but then what would they do with JFK? It's a mess. I know it. And you know, I think the best solution, honestly, the best available solution for WNEW would be to move PGC to 99.1 and then move WNEW to 95.5. At least it's an inside the Beltway signal. 99.1 would again cover, you know, PGC's core audience in Prince George's and DC and get them up in Baltimore better. And 95.5 would give WNEW a better signal into Northern Virginia and into the metro Washington area. It would make them a Washington metro station, not a Baltimore metro station, like 99.1 is. That's the easiest solution, other than buying another signal. Now, CBS could go and buy 92.5 out of Winchester, which would give them, or 99.9 out of Frederick, and you know, putting that together with 99.1, that would give them a good coverage area. But you know, unless they do something like that, I don't know what. You know, again. You know, and they also do need to do some marketing. You know, I think a good idea would be to start going viral and putting up some interviews with some of their people on the station, put them YouTube videos up, and really get that YouTube, Facebook presence kicked up. You know, then start doing a kind of a cult of personality about some of their people, introducing like Chaz Henry and some of the other folks that work there, and let people know who they are, and really, you know, get that internet viral presence up there and do some marketing. They're going to need that. Now, maybe they're waiting until April or May until they get the station up and running, you know, error-free. But, you know, they got a long road to hoe. Some other interesting things about yesterday's ratings. Fresh is now up to 7th place. That's the highest they've ever been. And the other interesting thing is that Wash is now down to 5th. Now, Wash is usually 1, 2, or 3. And that's really weird, you know. So Fresh is hurting Wash. Where I think we can, you know, the chick demographics are definitely going over to Fresh. Fresh is hurting Wash, and Fresh is also hurting Cumulus's Mix 107.3. Interesting. I think moving Tommy McFly to mornings was a good move. You know, Tommy's a good guy. He's an entertaining guy. You know, getting some more personality on the station, some younger personality on the station, I think is a good thing for Fresh. So at least there's some good news for CBS, right? With PGC kind of going, JFK kind of going, NEW kind of spinning their wheels in the mud. At least Fresh is doing pretty good in the ratings. And the other big news, too, top of the ratings, at least in this weekly number, was WAMU. Now, how many markets does do you have a public radio news talker as the top station? You know, TOP down to 2nd. You know, they're pretty much tied. Last couple of weekly ratings, TOP and WAMU have been pretty much tied for the top spot. So there. Other interesting mention today, listening to WMAL. Now, WMAL, we got these big primaries going on in Michigan and Arizona and all that. And what do they do there? Brian Neiman's on vacation and Brian Wilson's on vacation. So that allows Mary Catherine Ham to pair up with some other people, okay? They got the Jimmy Pethakukis guy. They got Matt Lewis today. You know what? Honestly, it changes the dynamic of the show, and I honestly think it makes the show sound better. Mary Catherine has a different role in the show now. With the two guys, especially old dude Brian Wilson, Mary Catherine Ham is kind of reduced to this kind of giggling valley girl who kind of makes these kind of occasional remarks. Now, when they pair Mary Catherine with a guy who's approximately her age, at least they sound that way, somewhere in their 30s, I guess, 40-ish. I don't know. Who knows how old she is? She looks like she's mid-30s. But, they pair somebody with just she and a guy approximately the same age. She comes across as a much more commanding personality on the station. And I like her better on it. And I think that it changes the whole dynamic of the show. It sounds younger. It sounds fresher. And a male-female together like that, same age, I think works. It does work. Rather than having, Grandpa Brian on there and Valley Girl Mary Catherine Ham. So I don't know. MAL's doing some changes. I hope they're really thinking about making some changes there because that morning show does need some work. But I do like what I'm hearing the last couple days over there on 105.9 and 630. And they certainly could use a ratings boost in that morning drive slot there. All right, folks. Hey. That's it. Have a good one. That's all I got to say today. Happy Leap Day. And so there.